Hi everyone. In this video I'm so excited to show you guys how to do some tatting. I am going to teach you how to make this simple little piece. Before we get into ever putting beads, because I want to show you how to put beads and turn this into a really pretty earring, before we do that I need to show you the basic steps of how to do tatting. This is so easy. I swear you guys are going to have fun with this. Now, before I actually would make this, I would have put beads on my thread. So here is a sample piece of a bracelet I made. I haven't put the ribbon or what on it, but it sits on your wrist like this. Isn't this just so pretty? And then you can put a closure on it, or you can tie it with really pretty ribbon. But it sits kind of cupped upwards, so it's really, really cute. And I've added some hexagon shaped 6/0s in those Matubo beads in this. This is really more of an advanced piece because of the way we have to do one side of the bracelet and go back down. So I'm not going to show you guys how to do this one just right off the bat. We're going to do some really easy basic tatting until you guys get the knack of what you're doing, then we can tackle something this difficult. So for tatting, there is shuttle tatting and there's needle tatting. I tried both. Shuttle tatting, I absolutely hate it. It's frustrating. Your thread gets so tangled and you're constantly winding your shuttle, whereas a needle, you're coming right off of your spool of cotton. Now, there is a place on eBay you can go buy all these needles. They come in a package, so there's several sizes. I like to use the kind of like the medium size tatting needle. It's a big ass needle, believe me. These are huge needles. And it comes in a package of 6 different sizes. So you got a really thin one. Right here is the thinner one. Then there's the next size. Then there's this size. And I believe it's this one's next. And then you've got thicker ones as they go. So I kind of like working with this one here. I've been working with this one, which is much smaller. That will give you a smaller stitch. But this one here, with the number 10 thread that I use, it was bending my needle. So I scrapped using that and I started using this one. And I kind of like this one better because it doesn't bend. So if you guys pull tight like I do, then you're going to have a bent needle too. So these are on eBay. They're called Tatting Needles. They're super long. They've got a big eye on them. So they're perfect for putting cotton through it. Now you can use all kinds of cottons. I've got several kinds of cottons. I've got different size cottons. I got size 12, size 8, size 10, and I'm going to show you today on a really simple cheap cotton that you can pick up at Walmart. This is size 10 cotton that you buy in the wool department, but it comes in a spool like this. I got this actually at Michael's, and you can get the exact same cotton for cheaper at Walmart. So, but I wanted different colors, and Walmart has a better selection of colors because I wanted black and brown and burgundy and stuff like this, so I can get into showing you guys different methods of making jewelry with tatting. So when I teach you guys how to do tatting, this very first video that I'm doing today will be on a playlist of its own. So it's going to be under tatting videos or tatted jewelry videos, but it will be in its own playlist. All right, so we're not going to mix it up with my beaded jewelry. Now today I want to show you this super easy earring to make. We're going to make a match. The next time we do it, we're going to add beads to it, and we're going to add some really pretty beads. Now, the thicker your thread, the harder time you're going to have these big ass needles and this thread to go through our normal beads. So you will, if you want tinier beads and really tiny crystals, you're going to have to use a small needle and tiny thread, which will make your finished piece much smaller. This piece was done on the other needle, so this one, next one I'm going to make is going to be a little bit bigger, but I think it's better to show you how to do it on a bigger needle than it, and so you can see the bigger stitches. But this is so cute. And that's going to make a really pretty earring if we hang some beads off that, right? So if you guys want to learn how to do some tatting, stay tuned and watch for my upcoming videos. Now, I'm using, like I said, number 10 cotton threads, just plain white thread, and the 4th size in a package of tatting needles. Again, I'm not going to ever teach you how to do it on shuttles, because the first time I tatted, I learned how to do it on shuttles and I absolutely got frustrated and stopped doing it. So if you guys don't want to get frustrated, don't use tatting shuttles. They're complicated. So I'm just going to thread my needle, and I'm going to leave a very small tail on this needle. Now, depending on the size of a piece that you're working on is the length that you're going to leave in your thread before you even start tatting on your needle. I am going to leave about, okay, including this right from start to finish, I'm going to say about 2.5 feet of cotton. So I've got 2.5 feet here, and I'm still attached to my spool. Don't detach your spool. So I'm going to leave 2.5 feet of thread hanging below my needle, and I'm just going to grab a part right about here. So this is how tatting is. It's so easy. Here is your needle. Here is your thread. We're picking up our thread kind of like as if you're picking up in the middle of the spool, but you are still leaving it attached. You're leaving all these extra on the side of your needle. Okay, so make sure you leave thread there because you're going to need it. Now, all you're going to do is take the thread anywhere and hold it up against your needle like this. Okay? Like that. Now, to make tatting, you usually have majority of your stitches required for tatting are called double stitches and a picot. So we're going to learn double stitches and picots in here and how to start and finish this product. Product. So a lot of people are going to tat differently than what I do. A lot of people are going to tat exactly how I do. Majority of people do. Now there's 2 different maneuvers for one double stitch. So the first time you're going to wrap your thread this way around your finger, and I'm holding it here with my thumb. Holding this here on here. As you can see, I don't have a lot of play in here. You're going to take your needle now, and you're just going to grab your thread off your finger, and you're going to pull it down to your finger right there. So there's a 1/2 stitch. Okay? So remember, you wrapped it this way, right? Now you're going to wrap it this way. And then you're going to go like this with your fingers. See how it's cupped? You're going to go like this with your fingers, and you're going to grab that loop this way. And then you're just going to bring it down. So there is 1 double stitch. That's how you do 1 double stitch. So that's what you would call 1 double stitch. Okay? Now, we're going to do it again. So let me get the tail. Remember, we've got this big long tail now. Remember, we left this. If you have no thread extra there, you're going to run into some serious problems. It's getting the maneuver of wrapping your wool, and it was complicated for me. I'm not going to say it's super easy. It was kind of tough to get the feel of doing it, but once you get the knack of doing it, you're just going to whip along like nobody's business. All right. So again, I'm holding it here. I'm going to wrap it around my finger this way, grab it this way, and pull it off my finger, and just pull it down like that. Okay? Now the second one goes this way over your, see? So you're going to put it between your fingers and go this way, then fold your finger like this, fold it, and put your needle this way, and then you're going to make your second. So there are 2 double stitches like that. Again, no, you're not going to put it between your fingers. That's always the second maneuver. The first one just goes over your finger like this, okay, and like that. Grab it and pull it down. The second one wraps around your finger and cups it like this. And there's 3 double stitches. So 1, 2, 3 double stitches. I'm trying to show you very slowly so you guys can get, I've watched videos on how to do this and they're so fast that they just blew my mind. Now, in this we did 3 double stitches, a picot, 3 double stitches, a picot, a 3 double stitches, and a picot. Now let me show you how to do a picot. It's so easy. So the start of your picot, you're going to wrap it the same way as if you're making a new stitch, and you are. Is you're going to grab it like this, but instead of pulling it all the way down to your work, you're going to make a loop like this. So I would say that's about a 1/2 inch. I'm making a 1/2 inch picot. It's a little too big. About that size. Okay? Before I push that down, I want to finish off this stitch. So we're going to go between our fingers, wrap it this way, and grab our thread like this. And there's our first picot. Okay, and plus, because there's 1 picot, in order to make the picot, you had to create a double stitch. So there's your 1 double stitch, and now we need to make 2 more and another picot. So wrap your thread around your finger, take it off like this, and pull it down. Put it, I always hold my thread like this, whoops, and grab it this way, and pull it down. Wrap it this way, and pull it. See, I always just hold it here like this, and then like this. You will get the knack of it if you just do like I'm showing you. Okay? And there is your 3rd double stitch. So you can see we got 3, a picot, and 3 stitches. Now we want to kind of make our picot the same size as what we have there. So again, we're going to grab we're going to go around our finger. We're making the start of our picot. So use your finger as your guide to hold your thread from being brought all the way down. So that's about the size, the distance I went in the last one. And then you're going to finish off your picot by going around this way before pulling it to your work. And finish off your picot and push it down. Okay? So there we have 2 picots and a completed double stitch. And this one's probably a little bit bigger, but my God, you're not going to see all the different sizes if you stay very close in size, or in like you can see this one's teeny tiny bit bigger, but I'm not going to fuss over that. Okay, so now we're going to make another stitch. So we're going to go here, wrap it this way, and grab this one. There's 2. This way, wrap it this way, there's 3. So we have 3, a picot, 3, a picot, and 3. And now, with each one of these, I did 7 picots. So in order to make a ring, we got to do 7, you got to count 7 picots. Well, we don't have 7 picots yet, we only have 2. So again, wrap your thread this way around your finger, grab it with your needle, bring it down to your finger like this, and stop there. Wrap it and finish off your double stitch this way. And then bring it down to your work. So there. Now we've got 3 picots. Again, 1, half, there's 2 double stitches, and 3 double stitches. Okay, so now we've got 3 picots. We're going to make our 4th picot. Go this way, bring it down, and now we're going to finish off our stitch, and then you can close it to your work like that. Alright, now we've got 1 double stitch made after our picot, so we need to do 2 more. So wrap it, this way, this way, this way, this way, and there's our 3 stitches already. Tatting is super fast. Like, I'd love to make some doilies for my living room because I'm sure these would be gorgeous, but I just can't find the cotton color that I need. So as you can see, that was a big picot. Anyway, so we're going to make another one, so wrap it this way. We're making a picot, and grab your thread this way, finish off your double stitch, pull it down. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and plus we have 1 stitch complete already, 1 double stitch, so we need 3, so there's 2, 3. Now we need to make our picot. So again, I'm just judging my picots. You can buy picot rulers, but who the heck has time when you're tatting to go and sit there and try to be perfectly precise with your picots? I think it's unique to have them all different size anyways. I mean, if there's a huge difference in the picot size, like if I make one really super small, then yeah, I'm going to pull that off. And you just, in order to get that off, you just slide it to the tip of your needle. You slide it off all your stitches where you made your boo-boo. And that's it. And you just start again. It's just like crocheting almost. So let's do our picot again. Finish it off. So we have 2, 4, 6, and we have 1 stitch done. So let's do 2, 2, 3. And let's do our final picot. Okay, so there's about the length I use. Finish it off with the backwards wrap on your finger. And now you still need to finish out. We started with 3, you want to end with 3. So we need to do 2 more double stitches. So there's 1, and there's 2. Now, we're done with our first loop here. Now, this is why you have to have this thread, this extra thread in here, because you're going to see what we're going to do with that in a second here. Now you're going to hold on to your work, push it down. I'm pushing it. Push it. Make sure you hold it up here and push it off right through your needle. Pull it through. You'll see. See your loop here? Keep pulling it through carefully that you don't tangle up your thread here. Okay. And now make sure that your loop isn't twisted and your work isn't twisted. Hold it like this. Bring your needle up from the bottom of that loop to the top because we're going to close the loop. And in short form on a pattern it will say CL, means close loop. Okay, so pull your thread through like this. This is what you should have. Hold it here, keep pulling, and now hold it and pull your loop closed. And there's your first. See how the different sizes of my picot, you can't even see that. See how easy this is? Now, I'm going to teach you how to tie off. Sometimes you're going to be turning your work because it's going to tell you to close your loop and turn. Okay, so in this case, because I want it to all, I'm just going to be working off this way. We're not going to turn our work. But what you are going to do to tie it, so this is my needle thread, and this is the yarn thread. What do you call this? The spool. This is the part on the spool. Hold it on your finger like this. This is the spool thread. This is my needle thread. Cross your needle thread over it like this, making a little loop. Okay? Like that. Just as long as your needle thread goes over top of this, and it actually is a good idea to hold that in your fingers like this. Okay, and just lay your needle thread over top, and then take your needle and come underneath that spool thread right here. This is your needle thread on top. You want to hook this needle onto that. Bring it, oops, almost pulled this off. Bring it up, and now you can tie. See? We just tied it off. Because we don't want our loop to come loose. Okay. So now I'm going to teach you. This was very basic tatting, but now I'm going to teach you how to do this next teardrop, but you're going to attach it to your first two picots on this base one, which is super, super easy. However, for some of us older people that require glasses, you may want to use a teeny tiny embroidery kind of crochet hook. I'm just going to use another needle, tatting needle, to do this. Now, here is my yarn thread, this thread that's attached. It's on the top, and my needle thread is down here. When I pulled my knot, I pulled it this way. Take your tatting needle, sit it right there where you tied your knot off, right there, see where it is? Sit it there, and let's start tatting again. So now we need to do 3 stitches and a picot, 3 stitches and a picot. But we're not going to do the picot, we're going to attach to this picot here, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So, wrap it around. Still, I'm pinching this needle really tight against my finger, holding it in place, because I don't want any kind of a gap of thread here in this next picot, or in this next teardrop. So hold it tight, there. Wrap it, make your first loop, pull it nice and snug up against your work, okay, like that. So there's my first loop, okay. Now we're going to finish off this double stitch with the back loop. So there's one. Now I don't have to worry about pressing and denting my finger. Once that's complete, you got that started, you're good. So wrap it around, do your first half of your double stitch, wrap it this way, and do your second half. So there's 2 double stitches. Again, wrap this way, pull it down, wrap it over, and pull it down to your work. Now, you want to add, I'm using this needle, and I'm going to try and show you very carefully how to do this. I'm going to stick my needle into here. If you had a little tiny crochet hook, it would be just easy. But you're going to pick up your thread that you're working with, kind of place it tight against your finger and the picot, and just pick it up. If you had a crochet hook, it would be way easier. I just pick it up like this and bring it all the way up and put it onto my needle like that. And that's all I do. And then I just pull it down. It's getting twisted there. There we go. So just pull it down. So now it's sitting on your needle. So now you're just going to keep on tatting. You're going to do 3 more stitches and attach to this picot here. So wrap it around your finger. Do 3 more stitches. There's 1 half. And I always pull my stitches up nice and close to my work. If you leave a gap, you're going to have a bulkiness there, and you'll be able to see it. So let's finish off our loop. So there's 1 stitch. I'm not counting this loop that I grabbed out of the picot there. Don't count that as a stitch. So I wrap it around and wrap this way. So there's 2 double stitches done. So we have 1, 2, around, whoops, grab it this way, and then bring your thread over your hand, over your finger like that, bend it, and grab that one. So there is 3. Now we're ready to, so what I would do is the needle, if your picot kind of gets all out of shape like that, just straighten it out so you can see your thread here. And then you're just going to stick your needle in and pull it up like this. and I stick it on my needle because I find it to be the easiest way to grab onto that picot. And now you're going to continue with tatting. So there's half stitch, there's 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 stitches past our pickup stitch here that we picked up. Now we need to make a picot. And this one here in the middle, we did 11 picots, but 2 of them are joined on this side and 2 of them's joined here, so we need to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more picots, 7, 8, 9 more picots, because our next one will join to this one here. So we need to make 9 more picots and close our ring. Okay, so I'm going to just do this a little quicker so we're not here doing a 2-hour video. So I'm just going to make my picots. Oops, that one's too small. There we go. You can adjust it. So there's 3. And that one's too small. There's 1, 2, 3. Now I just started learning how to needle tat. When did I start, Jeff? Maybe a few days ago? When I posted the picture is when I learned, and that's how fast I can tat now. And I'm sure you guys can do it too. It's not, you could just sit in front of your computer and make all kinds of beautiful stuff. If you go online, there's billions of patterns out there for tatting. There's also instructional videos as well to do tatting, but I'm telling you, for some people it's more complicated. I catch on to things, other people don't catch on to things as quickly. So this is why I'm doing this, to help you guys learn how to do tatting. So there's 1, 2, 3 picot. And I need some more thread. And this is kind of a good way to not waste your thread. If you had a shuttle, you got to wind up thread on a shuttle. I'm telling you guys, it's so frustrating. I hate it. I really did. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And how many did I say I need to make? 9. So we have 2 stitches. We have 3. And there's 1. And believe me, I've poked myself a million times, as you can see here, with this needle. Because they are, some of them, they say they're blunt, but holy man, they're still sharp. Alright, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need to do 2 more. Alright, we are at the end, I believe. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got 9 done and 3 double stitches in between all 9 of our picots. Now we're going to close our work again. So push your needle up, holding the top here, and push it through. If it doesn't work, kind of edge it off that way. There you go. And keep pulling this thread here, not this, don't get confused, your needle thread here, keep pulling it, stretching it out, because it's going to tangle on you and it's going to make a heck of a mess. Alright, so I'm just going to pull a little bit more. I don't want to pull too much because it does make a mess and then you aren't going to get your knot out. Okay, now it's nice and straight, nothing's twisted, keep it nice and straight. Stick your needle in and pull your needle through like this, and then close up your work. pulling it tight, like that. So there is your second teardrop, and it's attached to your first teardrop. You should be so proud of yourself if you're learning this with me, because it is a lot of fun. I'm telling you, I can't wait to make a beautiful doily. I just got to find the right color browns, because my living rooms are all kind of like earth tones and bird background stuff, you know. Okay, so let's get this tied again, and we are not going to reverse our work. So that's what it would be, reverse, but we're not reversing it. So this is my tail thread. Hold it like this, okay? Hold it, wrap it around your finger, and just hold it there, nice and tight with your middle finger or something. Bring your needle thread over top like that, and then just take this underneath like that, okay? And then pull it through, and this is going to make your knot. So while you're still holding it, pull it like this, and there you go. All right, now this is going to be a wee bit bigger, as I told you. Well, it's not that much bigger, and I'm using a bigger needle, believe it or not. This is just something I just come up with. I thought would be really pretty for an earring. Won't be big and heavy, but I mean, you can't put big huge beads on that because it will collapse. So again, to start our next ring, like I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do chains and how to do rings. Right now we're just learning these rings, the little teardrops. So again, needle threads down, hold your needle where you're going to put your first stitch. This is my spool thread. Wrap it this way, grab your first stitch, pull it right up tight against your work, like that. Okay, finish off your stitch before you let it go, like that. And there we go. Now we're going to do 3 double stitches. So here's 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to attach it to this first picot of our ring that we made before. Probably didn't pull that tight enough, or it is too tight, I don't know. Anyway, the best way I find is to stretch out your picot, stick your needle in there, and just pull it up. See? If you have a tiny picot that you made, you don't like them big, then it's going to be a little more complicated. You're definitely going to need a crochet hook for that. Okay? So don't count this stitch as anything. Now you're going to begin to make 3 more double crochets. So there's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. Now we're going to attach to the second picot of our previous teardrop. So get this one out of the way, put your needle in there, and just pick it up. Again, use a teeny tiny crochet hook. Those steel ones work perfectly for this. They have a very, very tiny hook on the end. They're almost sharp as a needle. And then now you're just going to continue with doing your rest of your picots. So we did 7, so we need to do 5 more. Oopsies, that's not what I wanted to do. I don't want to make a picot yet. This is considered a picot here, where you're joining into a picot. That's considered a picot. So you do 3 stitches, picot, so we're picking up in a picot. So that's considered a picot. So let's do 3 more double stitches. 1, 2, 3 more double stitches, a picot, 1 picot, and there's 3 stitches, and we need a picot. Oops, that one's too small. There's 2 picots, 2 stitches, 3 stitches, a picot. There's 3 picots, and 3 stitches. Oopsies, too small. Alright, there we go. You can fidget with your picots. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's do another picot. Finish off this. There's 2 stitches, 3, and our last picot. Like that. Okay? Now you got to finish it off with 2 more double stitches because you've already got one made when you made your picot. So you have actually 3 after your picot, and then you're going to close this ring like this. Pull your needle through, straighten out your thread, okay, and it's not twisted, so put your needle from the bottom to the top and just hold it and close your ring like that. Okay, so now you guys have this. And all I do with this sometimes is, because I'm messing around with it so much, is just fix your picots. You know that when you starch these and press them, they are just incredibly beautiful. People have done trimmings on tea towels and tablecloths. They've done a lot of, in the olden days, they've done a lot of tatting, because tatting's been around for a long time. Now, for this one here, I'm going to do, for this ring here, we're going to do 5 double crochets, a very large picot where you would loop your earring, and 5 double crochets. Okay? But first we need to tie it off. So again, here is my spool thread. I'm just going to wrap it around my finger tight like this and pull it. And then I'm going to bring my needle thread over top of it. Make sure it stays over top. I'm going to bring my needle underneath my thread here. This is the one I pulled tight off of my spool. And then we're just going to continue tying a knot. Okay? Like that. Now, you're going to hold your needle over top of your join there, where your knot there. Okay? And then you're going to begin tatting again and do 1, pull it nice and tight up against there, and finish out that stitch with your last loop. So we're going to do, well, let's try 5. I'm sure that's how many I did. 1, 2, trying to do it so you guys can see. 3, ouch. 4, 5. Maybe I'll do 6. 5 doesn't look like enough for me. So let's do 6, and let's do a super large picot. So that's going to give us a nice big loop, like that one. Okay? And I'm going to finish it off before I pull it out and push it down to my work. There's my large loop. Okay, so now there's 1 stitch. We need to do 5 more to complete this ring. 2, 3. So let's see now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here is 6. So now we're going to close our loop. So we're going to pull the needle through, holding on to it, pulling it ever so slowly, untwisting the twisted thread, and making sure you put your needle from the bottom up like this and close out that loop. And it's going to bring us back to the center like this. Alright, so there is your finished little earring. Looks like a little angel, little mini cross. Now you still need to tie this off. So again, wrap this here tightly, snugly around your finger like this. Bring your tail thread up over top of it and go underneath that tight thread. Whoops, I pulled my needle off. And then tie your knot. Now we need to stabilize this, and I'm going to show you how to do that. See, I took too much thread, so this piece that's attached to my needle is what's going to be waste, because you're not going to reuse it. Well, I don't think I would. Now, because our work is, wobbly here, all we have to do is take our needle and join it across here. So we're joined with this one, and now we want to join with this one. So we're just going to put our needle through our work like this and go down and pull that through. See? Like that. Alright? And then we're going to come back up. I'm just kind of sticking this, stabilizing this in place. Okay? And keeping it straight. So I'm going to go back across this side and up through that last teardrop we made, coming up here. Alright, and now we can tie off with our, you can cut your thread off, but leave a tail so you can weave it in. Okay, I'll show you how to do that. So just tie this off. Okay, there's one knot. Okay, and here's two. Alright, so that's tied off. Now, we're going to weave in our thread ends. So before you take your needle off of this side, go ahead and go up into, starting here, into your, just grab some, if you didn't do this super tight, it should work. Just go into your picot here and weave in your tail. Okay, so that's all I did. Like, my camera moved. Okay, so there, that's done. And then you can snip it off. Okay, now so this is how much thread I wasted. This is waste, because you can't reuse it. Now, let me see here. Fix my picots. Now you're going to take this other end and you're going to thread it on your needle, like so. And you're going to go up the other side now and weave it. So easy. Well, camera keeps moving. Alright, I can't see what I'm doing. I want to catch the stitches. There we go. And then just bring it through, pull it up, whoops, and don't pull it super tight. Oh boy. Well, anyway, you get the gist of what you got to do. That was kind of dumb. Alright, and then just fix your picots. Now if you were to make doilies out of all of this, you would have a really pretty doily if you starched it. So this one here, there's the difference in the needle sizes. Not much. So I don't know, I like this one because I can't bend it. Well, this one, or did I bend it? No. This is the one I was using and it is bent, but I'm using it just to pick up my picots. Now when you're doing something like this for an earring, you do want to measure, make sure, well not measure, but you want to make sure your loops are the same, because you make an earring, you want them to match. But anyway, that's your basic tatting on how to make these little tiny earrings. We're going to make them next time. with some beads in there. So I really hope this was very instructive enough that you guys can understand the basic technique on tatting and how easy it is to tat. The next time I'm going to teach you guys how to do chains along with these teardrops. So anyway, I hope I'll see you guys on the next tatting video. Again, this will be under a different playlist. It'll still be on my YouTube channel, just under a different playlist. And I wish you guys a good week, and I'll see you soon on the next video. Bye everyone.